Channing felt closer to his father when he was in this room than he did anywhere else. The study was the place where multi-million-dollar deals were made, almost daily. To him, this room was his father. He wrote that in his journal. So it wasn't an accident that he chose this space for his confrontations. The first person he saw that morning was Mr. Lionel Lockridge. You want to take the stage, Lionel? He wrote, "I remember thinking how strange it must have felt to Lionel being invited into this house, and even stranger that he'd received two Capwell invitations
in the same day. The first to appear at the Science Victory, and the second to appear before him in person. I'm bewildered."
You're wondering what I could possibly have to say to you, huh? I mean, after all, you are the enemy.
Something like that.
But Lionel, us Capwells, we pride ourselves on sportsmanlike conduct. So I'm giving you notice.
On what?
That I'm going to destroy you.
Really?
And how? By making a surprise announcement at the party today.
Oh, yeah? About what?
I've been doing some research, Lionel. The subject is the affair you were having with my mother.
What are you talking about?
Don't bother denying it. I've been reading through her diaries.
You have been reading through Sophia's diaries?
The section I've been studying most was the latest entry she made. 10 years ago. It's on the night before she died. That's the ring she gave you.
No, I picked this up.
And stop lying.
What difference does it make now?
She had her initials engraved on the inside. I want to see them.
Channing, it doesn't make...
Look, I want to see my mother's initials. Show me the ring, please.
All right. What are you doing that for?
She was through with you.
We loved each other.
She went out on the boat to tell you that she didn't want to see you anymore. That's exactly why she went out on the boat with you.
Channing, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference now.
I'm warning you, Lionel. This afternoon at the celebration, when they're all there, from the well-wishers to the reporters, I am going to accuse you of killing my mother.
I didn't kill her. It was an accident.
Afterwards, I'm going to turn the diaries over to the police.
Why? Why are you doing this now?
It was necessary that Lionel be made to suffer. I wanted him to be afraid.
I never wanted to relive that moment. I never even wanted to think about it.
Cruz, you're setting this up to make Lionel look like Channing's victim. Well, the boy was in agony. Don't you see that? He just found out about the affair between his mother and his father's enemy. He thought that Sophia was dead and that Lionel had killed her. It's understandable that he would feel hatred, that he'd want to bring his mother's killer to justice. The thing that upsets me the most is that he felt that he couldn't tell me about it.
Well, he wasn't going to keep it from you much longer. You were going to hear the whole story along with the rest of the world that night at the celebration. Of course, there was another person who knew the truth about Lionel and Sophia. That would be you, Warren. You did know the truth, didn't you?
Yeah, I knew.
And you also came to see Channing at his request.
It was more like an owner, but yes, I saw him.
And what happened?
He told me that he was going to have me arrested.
Right. I would have done so anyway, unhappily. I knew I was forced to turn Warren over to the police. And I told him so.
Why did you invite us to this party if you hate us so much?
There's a method to my madness. Today, when all the luminaries have gathered to honor me and my most recent achievement, and the press is there, recording it, I'm going to make an announcement.
What are you going to say?
That you stole a priceless collection of rare coins while you were a guest in this house, and that you admitted to me that your father put you up to it.
Hey, now, my father had nothing to do with this.
You'll both be arrested, and the Capwells will enjoy the spectacle of two Lockridges swinging slowly in the breeze.
A gift from me to my father. I should have thanked Warren, actually, for helping me to make it possible, he wrote.
He was hateful that day.
I didn't know how much you both had to go through just to keep Lionel and Sophia's affair a secret.
It was more than the affair, Augusta. Channing was accusing me of murdering Sophia.
What we have then is two Lockridges, father and son. Both had a motive, and since both were at the party, an opportunity to kill Channing. And we've heard how Channing acquired the ring he wore that day from Lionel, for whom it had been a gift years before from Sophia. Channing, of course, only got to wear it for a few hours. So Channing seemed to be calling all the shots that day. But again, things are rarely what they seem. Turns out that he had something to hide too, and there were a couple of people around that were more than willing to take advantage of that fact, to the tune of $2,500 a week each.
Are you saying that Channing was being blackmailed?
Would you care to comment on that, Lindsay?
Well, it's Peter Flint's idea from the beginning. I just let myself get sucked up into it. I was angry at Channing, so I went along. But I always considered it dirty money. I never even spent it.
Why would my son pay blackmail to you or Peter Flint? That's insane.
Maybe we should push ahead, Mr. C. We still got a lot of ground to cover. You weren't invited to the victory party, were you, Lindsay? But you showed up anyway.
But how did you know
We
that
found your fingerprints in here.
Oh, I should have realized.
Yeah. How'd you get in?
Through the tunnel.
Tunnel?
But I didn't kill Channing. The fact is, he almost killed me.
Was he in here when you came in?
Yes. Almost as if he were waiting for me, even though he couldn't have known I was here.
What did he do?
Well, he reached into a drawer and pulled out a gun and pointed it at me.
I should have done this a long time ago, when you and your buddy Peter first started to put the squeeze on me. I've got a message for you, Lindsay. The free ride is over. No more payoff.
Nothing's changed. You don't have a choice.
It's over because I'm going to kill you. And then I'm going to kill Peter.
You can't get away with that. There's a house full of people here. Someone will hear you.
No, they won't. I'll drag you back into the tunnel and leave you there. Nobody knows you came here, so they'll never find you.
Don't. God, please, Jack.
You pushed me too far. You should have known better than that, Lindsay. Even if Peter didn't.
Channing, I'll get back every cent. I swear I'll disappear. You'll never see me again. Channing's gonna kill me.
It's against my better judgment. But I'll let you live. This time. Go back out the way you came now. And Lindsay, I never want to see you or hear from you again. Now get out.
I was convinced he was gonna kill me.
I don't believe you. Channing was no killer. And you still haven't told us why you were blackmailing him.
You're, certainly moving right along through that infamous suspect list of yours, Cruz. Should be getting to the M's about now, am I correct? Marcello and Mason?
Yes, you are, Mason. As a matter of fact, that reminds me. You also had a meeting in here, didn't you, with Channing before he was shot?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, but when I left him in all due haste, he was very much alive.
Did you notice if he, was wearing a ring?
I did, and he was Lionel's ring.
Hmm. He, was aware of the scheme you were involved in with your mother, Pamela.
Yes, he said it had come to his attention.
You and Pamela Pepperidge.
My mother's name is Capwell, same as yours.
You're not real Capwells, either of you. If you were, you wouldn't stoop to what you're doing. Or at least you would be smart enough not to get caught. Oh, I know all about it, Mason, and I'm going to make very sure you never pull it off.
What is it that you think you know?
What everyone will know before long? That you're a liar and a sneak and an opportunist. The rest was self-evident.
Where did you get that ring? Said it was none of my business.
So he never told you?
No, his only interest was to goad and humiliate me. He took particular delight in asserting that the two of us weren't real Capwells.
You must have been very angry at him.
I hated him. Like I've never hated anything or anyone in my entire life. But I didn't kill him. You don't believe me? Well, the fact that I didn't kill him has more to do with who I am than what he was. I'm not the killing kind. But I feel sorry for the real killer. Because they should be rewarded, not punished for doing the world a good deed.
Stephen, shut up! Don't you say his name again!
Mason, that's enough.
Still won't believe it. After all this, he still wants to hang on to the lies about his precious son.
And after you left Channing?
I went home.
But you came back.
You don't have to say any more, Warren.
He's right. This isn't a court.
Look, when I went home, I found my father's gun. And I took it with me when I went back to the Capwell party.
What was on your mind, Warren?
I was going to kill him.
Warren.
Look, I took the gun out when I got to the study door. And I took the safety off and pulled back the trigger. Then I opened the door.
Was he in here?
I didn't see him at first. But he was there. God, was he there?
Where am I?
What was that you said? Where am I? What does it mean, Channing? Hey, Channing! Then I ran. I don't even remember getting home.
I do.
You were kneeling over his body. Do you remember seeing the ring?
No, it wasn't there. I'm sure of it.
And the word he said was?
Fairmont.
Does that word mean something to you, Lionel?
It sounds oddly familiar, yes.
You came back to the party too, didn't you?
Yes, I came back, but not to kill Channing. As soon as I could, I slipped away and went upstairs
Why?
to search the room.
What were you looking for?
The evidence that Channing said he had. Sophia and I had had an affair. And that she'd come to see me the day she disappeared. He said she had a diary. I wanted to find it and destroy it. So that his accusations would not be able to be backed up.
Thought of you in my son's room is maddening. If I'd known you were there, I would have dragged you out myself.
It's funny you say that, CC. You and Philip did come in when I was there. I was hiding. I made a noise. You came in, you left, and locking the door behind you. Remember locking the door?
No, don't ask me to be your alibi, Lionel. I never saw you in my son's room, and I don't believe you were there. I think you went back to the study.
Did you kill Channing? I was in that bedroom for hours, locked in.
Can you prove that?
I hope so.
Folks, if you'll bear with me a second, I'll be right back. Can we talk in the hall, please?
Marcello, I'm starting to remember things. I don't know if it happened to me or they're happening to somebody else.
What sort of things, Sophia?
There's familiar. Sometimes they're familiar and they're very strange. Mom, are you all right?
She'll be all right, Kelly.
Sophia! You were at the party disguised as Dominic. You and Joe Perkins found Channing's body in here after he was shot. I'd like to ask you some questions about that moment.
Why? Why make her relive that? It was the most terrible moment of her whole life. She came back here to let Channing know that she was alive, but she never got the chance. It was the terror of that moment that drove her to an institution. She had a complete breakdown.
Yes, but she's over it now. She's stronger now. Sophia, can you describe your feelings to me?
Lionel! Lionel's face I saw in the... I saw Lionel in the mirror behind me. He killed my son. He killed Channing. Oh, he tried to kill me, so I know it was Lionel. Marcello. No, it's Marcello. Marcello's behind me in the mirror. Note. I gave a note. I gave a note, but I sent a ring. It's on his hand. It's my ring. Marcello, you're behind me in the mirror.
Yes, that was me who you saw behind you in the mirror. I was there, and I was the one who killed Channing. I hope that you would never remember, Sophia, that it would stay buried forever.
I don't believe it, Daddy.
I know, baby, I know.
Thank God. We don't have to be afraid of anyone anymore.
Well, you know, off the hook.
I knew my instincts about him were right.
Why did you kill him? Because I loved him so much?
Because I wanted to hurt you. I knew how much you doted on him, how much of yourself you lavished on him. I know that you thought he was the best part of yourself. What better way to hurt you than to kill him?
You were jealous of Channing.
Yes, of course I was jealous. My parents were robbed from me while he still had his father. Yes, I'm your killer. You can end your search now. I killed Channing. I hid myself near the study, and then I saw Dominic go in there with another young man, and I tried to stop her, but I couldn't get there in time. Later, when she came out, I knew that what she had seen in there was more than what she could bear. It was more than her mind could handle. I knew then, I realized that I had to get her away to someplace safe. That's when I took her to the sanitarium.
Well, congratulations, Cruz. I couldn't have handled it better myself.
You are going to arrest him right away, aren't you, Cruz? Lionel was in prison for weeks and weeks, and he was innocent.
Dominic, Sophia, planted that bloodstained note in Warren's tux. But how did she get hold of it? Did she pick it up when she was in there with Joe? She was the one who planted the ring in my house, too. Someone took that ring off Channing's finger.
Dr. Marcy will be taken into custody and booked within the hour. Right now, I'd like everyone to clear this area, please. And be very, very quiet.
Listen to me. I've been treating Sophia for 16 years. I'm the only one who knows what to do with her when she's in a state like this. I need to stay with her.
She'll be all right, Marcello. I won't hurt her. Please stand over there. What are you feeling, Sophia?
So many memories gone. I don't know. I didn't realize how many moments were lost. How many moments were lost. They're coming back. So many of them.
Someone took that ring off Channing's finger. When Warren found him, he was still alive. But the ring was gone. Somebody removed it before Channing died. And Warren heard him say the word Faramar. There's only one other person in the world who knew that word.
To the study now.
Please, give this note to Lionel Lockridge right away. It's very important.
These are the same words. Oh, God. What did I do?
For heaven's sake, what's going on?
I don't know, Mom.
Cruz, what on earth is going on?
What's it mean?
Please.
I sent that note Channing had to Lionel. I told her to give it to Lionel. Because I had to see Lionel first. I had to protect myself from Lionel before I could tell my darling Channing that I was alive. Lionel would try to kill me. I wasn't going to give him that chance again. I was not going to live in terror of Lionel anymore. All those years, I didn't know who I was, where I was, lived in terror of him. I remember the terror. Sat. And I waited for him.
Here.
I thought you deserved it. I didn't mean to do this. Lionel? Lionel, it's me. It's me, Sophia. Lionel, I didn't die. I didn't die, not really. Remember Fairmore?
That's where Channing heard it.
If you remember, you tell me, I know. Remember the island? In the middle of the sea where we could be alone? Channing was Lionel? I didn't mean Lionel. Answer me, Lionel.
That's enough. I'm all right, Sophia. He didn't hurt me. I loaded the gun with blanks. Cruz just wanted me to help someone remember something. Sophia?
That was Mama? And you knew?
worship the memory of her.
Killed our ghost. So when none of us dreamed was still alive. My baby.
Someone should be with her.
Let me.
Sophia, please forgive me. I swore you'd never know. She thought she couldn't have meant to kill Lionel either.
I wonder if there was ever a moment when Channing knew. Still alive when one came in. I wonder if he looked up and realized...
Oh, Mason, be quiet. How could you do this? To her? How could you do it to all of us?
This was my doing, Mr. C. Lionel had no idea what would come of it. He was just going along with me.
But why, Cruz?
Because words wouldn't have brought it back, Eden. And there was no proof. If I had just walked in here and tried to tell you all that really happened 6 years ago, nobody would have believed me.
My Channing.
Strong, Sophia.
Keep him away from her.
No, let him be.
You were never meant to know this moment. Your mind protected you from it. You didn't know that the gun would fire. You didn't know that the man who walked through the door would be your son.
He wasn't. He was. Why didn't you kill me that day so I wouldn't have done this? He's my child. My flesh. I'm a monster.
Stay with us, Sophia. Don't let it take you away again. Stay with us.
Dream, Marcello.
Yes, I
The
know.
dream that I had.
You'll never have it again.
I was sitting and I was waiting, and there was a man, and he was coming toward me, and he crowned off, and it was cold, and he fell. I saw blood, and I could hear the blood. To his face, I woke up.
It was too painful for you.
Let me wake up this time. Please. Please let her go away. Help me. Help me.
Sophia. Channing is gone. No one loved him more than I did. No one blames you for what happened.
All these years, all the things you've all been through.
We didn't know.
No, please. I want to stay down here with him. Now, this is where I belong.
We can't let this happen.
Mama, please don't go away again. Mama, please, look at me. Look at me. Who am I? Who am I? Say my name. Say my name, please. Say my name. Eden. No, who am I to you? Who am I? Who am I? My daughter? Your daughter who loves you. Who loves you. Mama, listen to me. Mama. When you went away and we thought you were dead, I was sorry and I cried, but I didn't warn you. And then that day when you came back, you remember that? I was there and I was hurt and I was angry and I was sorry. And I wanted to take it out on you. Do you remember that? But that wasn't then, Mama. It wasn't. And that's what's happening to you. This isn't then. Mama, look at me. Who am I? Who am I, Mama? My baby who loves me. I love you, Mama. I do love you. And you came back. I don't know what happened. But you came back. Because of Channing. And because of us. Right? I killed your brother, Eden. I know. But he loved you. And so do I.
Me too, Mom.
What's going on?
Mama, I was the one who fought you. But I will never, never turn away from you again. I promise. What's she doing now?
Nothing.
Where's your father?
He's right here, Augusta.
Sophia, I love Channing so
Not
much.
now, Santana.
But I know what it is to feel that you've betrayed your child. in a way that you can never make right. I gave mine up. Channing's been mine. Your grandchild. They can't forgive us because they'll never know. But Sophia, can't we forgive ourselves? Can't you and I forgive each other a little? At least enough to make it bearable.
Yes, listen to her, Sophia. Listen, she knows...
You get away from her. You knew all along, Marcello. You came here to hurt us, and everything you ever said was a lie. You pretended to be so understanding about how I felt for Joe. You were the one that let him rot all those years in jail when you could have said something.
Said what, Kelly? To whom? None of you even knew that she was alive. I had no idea who Joe Perkins was or what he meant to you. I had no idea about anything about any of you except for your father.
Maybe you made her do it. Maybe you kept her from knowing. Maybe you hypnotized her. Huh, Marcello?
Doesn't anyone understand that I love this woman and I always have? She was my stepmother for more years than she was with you. Certainly far longer than my real mother was with me. And she cared for me. She missed her children, but the love that she couldn't give to them, she gave to me. And when she wanted to come to Santa Barbara to find Channing's killer and to bring him to justice, I wanted to prevent that. I would have done anything. I would have turned myself in. I would have gladly gone to prison. Anything just to keep it from coming to this.
I never saw that note, Sophia. Not until this year when it was found in the tuxedo.
That's because Philip gave it to Channing by mistake. You see, you had given it to one of the kitchen staff, apparently, and she passed it on to Philip to deliver.
But Cruz, the kitchen staff is not allowed in the front of the house.
Whether Philip assumed it was meant for Channing or the maid made a mistake, no one seems to be able to remember. Marcello, how much did you hear of what went on in this room that day?
I heard everything.
You're Channing and me together?
Yes.
And Channing and I?
That too.
From inside the tunnel?
No, when I heard the gunshot, I took a look through a peephole in the bookcase, but I couldn't see anything, so I took a chance and I went in. She was kneeling beside him, holding the note in her hands. I saw the gun on the floor beside her. Only one thing could have happened, but still I hoped I was wrong. I was afraid what she would do when she saw me. She had not even known I was in the country and had followed her to Santa Barbara. She looked at me and knew me, but there was no surprise, nothing.
Marcello, I did it. Lionel. I killed Lionel. He didn't know me. He didn't say anything. He didn't remember. I didn't want Lionel to die. I just wanted to frighten him.
Leave that, Sophia. Leave it.
No. No, he doesn't need it now. I gave it to Lionel when I loved him, but you see, I don't love him anymore. He doesn't deserve it. Marcello, can't kill anyone you love, can you?
I didn't know whether to keep silent and let her mind censor the obvious sight before her, taking her further and further out of touch with the most familiar things of her world, or to try to bring her back. Sophia, this man is not Lionel.
I know.
Do you know who it is?
No.
Yes. I think you do. Look at him. Look at him. How did this happen, Sophia? How did it happen? It was obvious that the truth was something she could not face, and perhaps never would. So I gave her the lie that I thought she would need to survive. Sophia, listen to me. Listen to me. Did Lionel Lockridge do this to your son?
Yes.
killed my son. Because he tried to kill me. But he didn't. So he killed Channing.
Noises outside the study and someone knocking.
That would have been Warren.
So I took Sophia back inside the tunnel and I replaced the disguise she was wearing, trying to think of what to do next. But then when we heard the door slam,
I left in a hurry.
She started behaving as if nothing had happened, as if Lionel was still waiting to come to her. And she broke away from me and she went back inside. And I saw her. It was as though the horror of it had washed her mind clean, seeing Channing as though for the first time. She ran to his side, forgetting me, everything. When she ran into the corridor for help, I followed her. She caught sight of me in the mirror behind her, and for a split second, I thought she was going to remember everything. But then, someone else came into the corridor, who I know now was Joe. I stayed away a safe distance, and I waited for my chance, and I went in, I gave her something to put her to sleep, and took her with me to Anchorage. You see, I knew two excellent doctors who had a small sanitarium there. I knew that it was far enough away that there was little chance of her hearing about it in the news, but it was still in the country, so there was no immigration problem, and so we went.
When you confessed just now, and when you wanted to go back to Italy and take me with you, that was all from me, too.
Seems to me, Marcello, the only thing you've ever done is hurt my father and help my mother.
It's actually more. You see, it was Marcello who typed that little addition to Peter Flint's confession. And Marcello who somehow found out that I'd reopened the investigation, whereupon he stole the original pistol from the desk, looted my files, and of course set the charge that blew up the tunnel. The lab confirmed that the trace chemical we found in your apartment was nitroglycerin.
We could have died down there.
Hank Judson did die, which is another charge you'll have to face. But I'll give you credit for one thing. You did what you set out to do. Because no one, certainly not Sophia, ever imagined that she was the one who shot Channing.
No, but it shouldn't have fired.
Now what we see is what she's really like.
Mama, don't think about it.
No.
Please.
No. The gun should not have gone off. Of course I wouldn't have killed Lionel. I thought I made sure that the gun wasn't loaded.
Sophia?
I first came to the house the night before. I didn't dare go any further than this room. I decided this would be where I'd see Channing and tell him I was alive. I stayed longer than I should have, but I hadn't been in the house for 10 years. There were so many memories. When I looked in the desk, I found a guest list for the party the next day. And in another drawer, the gun. It gave me an idea. The only thing that frightened me about what I planned to do was seeing Lionel again. His name had been added to the guest list, so I knew he'd be there tomorrow, and I decided I would try to frighten him. To tell him I had come back for revenge, and that if he ever came near me again, I would kill him. I wanted him to beg for mercy and swear he would leave me alone. So, I emptied the gun. I didn't want to really hurt him. So I unloaded the gun, and I put it back. I'm sure of it. I would never have pulled the trigger if I thought it had anything.
No. Oh, God, no.
Daddy, it's terrible, I know, but at least justice can be done.
son. Our firstborn, and he was so beautiful.
So?
And I am to blame.
No, you're not, Mom.
The horrible, ugly acts that I am to blame.
No, you were right. The gun was empty. I couldn't sleep that night. I was so excited. Channing was coming home the next day. There was going to be the reception. And suddenly, I heard something. A burglar or someone downstairs in the study.
It must have been me.
I put my robe on. I went down to investigate. I came in, there was no one here. I searched through the desk, and there wasn't anything missing. I didn't want anything to ruin tomorrow. And then I saw the gun in the desk. And I picked it up. Oh, my God. I saw that it was empty.
No, Sophia, don't go on, please.
And so I loaded it. Sophia, I never...
I know.
I loved him so much. He was a child of our first year together. When you were here and you loved me, it's as if together that we... Sophia, help me.
Yes.
You did it. It's over. Good work. I mean that. You got the truth out when nobody else could, with a minimum harm. No questions left unanswered.
I got a couple. Like, why in the world did this have to happen? And what do we do now?
Same questions I have. There were things before I never thought I could live through. This is the worst. And I'm sure you had those things, too.
When you first disappeared. And Hans, of course. But to think that the bullet that killed Channing came from my own hands. Dad.
Mason?
I'm sorry.
Mason and Cece, I never thought it was possible.
Neither did I.
There's real love there.
Well, for Maggie's sake, I hope not.
So, how did you know? What did I say to you that made it fall into place?
Well, at the hotel when you were delirious, you whispered to me as though I were Sophia. As though you were afraid that had you died, she'd have been found out.
Well, I was afraid for her, afraid that she'd be defenseless against your investigation.
You told me to hide the ring, to get rid of Lionel's ring. And I figured that since she had the ring and the note, well, it simply began to add up.
Well, congratulations. You didn't miss anything. You solved your case. Sophia, you won't come out of this untarnished. Not if I have anything to say about it.
Augusta.
Oh, please! Now, you're all fawning over her as though she were the one that was murdered. As though she were hunted and accused.
Augusta, that's enough. Don't you realize what she's been through?
She put our family through hell. She jeopardized our son's life. She's right. Don't pretend to be noble and don't ask for me to sympathize. Augusta, it's not the time. And her protector, Dr. Armonzi. Where the hell are you?
Here.
I don't know what your story is. You accuse Cece of some selfish, heinous selfishness. Well, God knows that's true. But what about you? You allow lives to be ruined, and you protect the ignorance of some equally selfish, promiscuous woman. You would have even let me die. And you set an explosion that caused blindness. And God knows what other sort of injuries.
Augusta, that won't solve anything.
Well, what will? I have a grievance. A very great grievance. And I want justice!
Augusta, come on, please. What?
We have paid and paid and paid for the capital's crimes against each other. Now it's their turn. What's going to happen to Sophia and her stepson? What's going to be their punishment?
Marcello will be charged with attempted murder for what he tried to do with Mr. C at the hotel, and murder one, I would imagine, in the death of Hank Judson. I think he was only trying to destroy evidence, which, unknown to him, didn't exist. But you did know there'd be people down there in the tunnel when the charge went off, didn't you, Doc?
He could have killed me and Ted and Santana.
It's not necessary. We're already talking about life in prison.
And he knew how Channing died all along. That makes him some sort of an accomplice, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
But accomplice to whom? And to what? You can't first decide that someone's been an accomplice to a crime without deciding that a crime has been committed.
Mason's right. The real question here is, what are you going to do with my mother?
Is her murder different than his?
She didn't know, Augusta.
She had no intention of hurting anyone.
She even unloaded the gun.
Well, I can testify to that if need be.
But somebody died. A life was lost. Doesn't something have to be done?
She was only trying to scare Lionel. Lord knows she had motive enough to do that.
Why didn't I check the gun? Why did I just pull the trigger?
No, Mom, you couldn't have known.
Things like this happen all the time. You hear those stories where people are cleaning a gun or it's flying around and someone gets shot. They don't take people to court. They don't throw them in jail.
Actually, it's not quite the same, Eden. I'm sure Cruz must realize that.
Why isn't it?
The fact is that Sophia wasn't cleaning the gun. It's true that the gun was empty, but she still intended to use it for coercion and harassment. That's illegal use of a firearm.
Is that true?
Yes.
And what would the charges be, and who would press the charges?
The DA's office. Now, don't look at Cruz. The DA decides who will be prosecuted and on what charges.
On the basis of what?
Evidence, testimony, police reports.
What if there isn't any of that?
That's right. But we don't have to say anything.
Yeah, no testimony, no evidence, no police report.
You're asking Cruz not to file one.
Of course she is. And baby, I'd do the same thing if I were you.
Then don't.
Now, Mom has just come back to us after all these years. Now, you can't just take her away from us.
You're not being fair to Cruz, Ted. He's only got two choices. He can file a report, which it is his sworn duty to do, or he can not file a report and risk losing his job, or worse. The DA should decide that a crime has been committed later. Cruz would be as much an accomplice as Marcello.
What if he does make a report?
Rest would be up to the DA.
What is the worst they could charge her with?
I would guess manslaughter.
Oh,
No.
They can't do that.
No. Justice is fair. This isn't right. It was an accident. She didn't remember. She had no idea.
I know that, Eden, but testimony to that effect would have to come from Marcello. And how much weight is the court going to give a man who's already been charged with attempted murder and murder in the first degree?
Well, that settles it. How you cruise it?
Why not?
For one thing, what makes you think the rest of us would be quiet?
Well, Augusta's right. Any one of us could go to the DA for reasons good or bad.
Who else in this room would tell besides Augusta? And we all know that she's jealous of Mama, and she's got no proof, and she's got no evidence. If it happened, it wouldn't be you.
Eden, that's not fair.
Well, Eden always states things badly, but she's got the choices right. You must have seen this coming all along, Cruz. What's it gonna be?